What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Cryptographics. I hope you're having a wonderful morning, day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. And this is the TitanX Community Hangout every Saturday at 11 a.m. EST, 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. PST. So this is a stream where if you want to come on, you want to talk TitanX, you want to talk life, you want to talk about hobbies, you want to talk about whatever, this is the space for us to come together, hang out, just get to know one another, and have a good time. And we're doing it every Saturday morning here on this channel as well as Taurus. And if you're watching here on X or on YouTube here on the Cryptographics channel. So hope you guys are having a fantastic morning. Let's go into the chat and let's see what's going on here. We got Damien. What is up and welcome. Sorry, guys, had to take care of some stuff. We can get started now. And here we are. Thank you for getting here so we could start. Appreciate you, man. And if you guys want to come up on stream too, this is the point of this stream, is that I'll post the StreamYard link as well in the chat. And if anyone wants to jump in, boom, this is the link to StreamYard. I ask that you have a camera and a microphone if possible. Well, mostly microphone. But if you only have a mic, so be it. I would love to have you up and hang out, because this is number 3. And let's get some people going here. Okay, is that not working? Interesting. Okay, comments aren't working right now. Let me just wait a second. Okay, so maybe what we'll do, while we're waiting for everyone to show up, I know it's a little bit early in the morning still, let's go see what's happening in the ecosystem. Hey, I see you, Quinn. Welcome. Good morning. Follow the white rabbits. Follow the white rabbits. Speaking of white rabbits, let's go check in. What's going on with the white rabbit here? Let me see. Also, bullish on anything that Brandon builds. So, bullish on Morph, bullish on Switch, and anything else that comes from him in the future. Let's see what Morph is doing. Oh, yeah, you guys can't see this, right? Let me share my screen. Let's see here. Let's go to Morph. Morph is on an uptrend. Look at that. All right. In general, obviously it's gone down now, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. All right. Let's see. Daily. I mean, come on, man. That looks pretty bullish to me. I mean, does anyone have a word for what this is called? I mean, I think there's a term for that. You guys tell me. Yeah, good morning. Glad to have you here. Let's see what else is going on. Okay, so let's see what TitanX is doing. TitanX is creeping down a little lower below the 2500 zone. But of course we're going to. This is a major area of resistance, right? I mean, we had all this. You can see here, this range has been quite the zone, really. So this is really no surprise to see this, honestly. But with ETH pumping right now, and actually, let's go check out what ETH is doing. $35.40, not bad, man. BTC still hanging on to 117.7. I mean, we're looking good. Driving but listening, appreciate you. Hope you're having a good day. Also, what's everyone doing today? I would love to hear from you guys. And also, like I said before, for all of you that just joined, would love to have you up on stream, even if it's just the old microphone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Dabuglim. I don't think I've seen you here before. Welcome. Glad to have you. Oh, man. So what else is happening in the ecosystem? I want to bring up an interesting... I'll bring it up later. Brandon Davis actually brought up an interesting point. Actually, a couple of things. He was talking about ETF flows yesterday. He also brought up something about truth that I want to bring up later. I think is interesting, because you know me, and you know how much I like talking about the deep stuff. So, I mean, we'll go there eventually, but for now, we'll wait. What else is Oh, here's something interesting. Morning, Ninja. Good to have you here. What's everyone getting up to this weekend? Hopefully everyone's having a good day. Now, let me go to the old TitanX Hub Premium. I want to share something with you guys. So you could see online previously that there's been a lot of talk of how many holders really are in this ecosystem. So if we exclude, obviously, Genesis, we actually have way more than I originally thought. Now, so there's about 9 whales, there's 90 sharks, 807 dolphins. So this is 2,500, this is 25,000, this is $250,000 dollars or more. And the squids are 250 or above, and the turtles are $25 or above. So if we add up all these, this is almost 4,000 right here. And then if we look at the turtles, we don't know by the percentage here where between $250 and $25 all these holders are. So, I mean, we actually have probably close to, between probably 4,000 and 8,000 actual holders of, relatively some sort of a bag, like $100 or more. It's so hard to say. But there's a difference now, obviously, between people that are holding and people that are active holders. But I thought this was cool because I thought there was maybe a couple, 1,000 people in the ecosystem. But looking at this, it's like, no, there's actually, and we don't know who's what in terms of the wallets. We don't know how many people have multiple wallets. So this number could shrink drastically, but still, it was cool to see if there's that many individual wallets. And I thought that was just a cool stat. What's up, Rich? Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. And let's see what's going on here. All right. So another thing that I saw was the Genius Act just got passed. How do you guys feel about that? How do you guys feel about the Genius Act getting passed? How's everyone feel about the ecosystem? How does it feel to be in the space right now when everything's pumping, when momentum is actually going up? And then if I can, I'll maybe bring up Brandon's comment from, I think it was yesterday, actually. Yep. Not exactly a great thing. Might bring some adoption, but it's going to be a stranglehold at some point, I would think. But, in time we'll know. But it's not the greatest thing. Not for DeFi. That's for damn sure. Let me bring it up. I think there was an article I saw. Let's see here. Hopefully I can bring this up. I think so. Let's see here. President Trump on Friday signed the Genius Act, marking the first major piece of cryptocurrency legislation. Crypto Week has been a success as the House on Thursday afternoon approved 3 key bills that could reshape the digital asset industry in the U.S. Crypto News Chatter also shows, in the U.S. Crypto News Chatter also shows some groups worried about the new rules could lead to a new under-regulated U.S. banking sector. Oh, that's the word you want to hear, the under-regulated, where we currently are. President Trump, during a ceremony at the White House on Friday, signed the Genius Act into law. The law provides a framework to regulate stablecoins and digital tokens that are pegged to the value of the U.S. dollar. The bill's requirements include full reserve backing for issuers, monthly audits, and anti-money laundering compliance, among other regulations, aka know your customer, aka no anonymity, aka surveillance, aka privacy doesn't exist, So, hopefully we can make things better in the future, but the groundwork sounds ominous to me. I would agree. We're luckily though, we're in before a lot of this hits. We've been in before a lot of this is hitting, and so I think it pays to be here now, because by the time everyone else comes in, it's going to be too late. The opportunities are going to be very, very different. So let's see here if there's anything. So House passes a crypto bill. So on the House on Thursday, I can't read apparently, passed the Clarity Act in a 29 to 134 vote. The GOP Financial Services Committee announced online the crypto market structure bill will now move on to the Senate. All right. They're moving fast, man. And Majority Whip What is? I don't even know what that is, man. I'm not super familiar with all the American terms. Or majority whip. What does that mean? Whip Tom Emmer? Guys, what the hell am I reading here? Majority whip Tom Emmer. Also is his name Whip? Majority whip? What is happening? Somebody help me here. Oh my God, what a weird word. What a weird 4 words to read together, followed by also announced. I don't know how to interpret that. Is his name Majority Whip? Like Majority Whip Tom Emmer? That's his full name? Bro, I don't know. That's confusing though. But whoever that is announced that this anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act passed the House in a 219 to 210 bill. That's interesting. The anti-CBDC. Well, it's not interesting because to me, I want to hear. It's a position. Okay, thank you. That shows Majority Whip Tom Emmer. Okay, got Majority Whip is the position Tom Emmer's. Okay, thank you. You know, I can tell my Canadian ignorance here. Oh my goodness. Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act. You know what? Let's do. I'm going to punch that into Grok, and we're going to learn about it right now. Let me punch this in. And I'm going to ask. So I'm going to ask Grok in the prompt. Actually, I'll share this so you guys can see with me here. What does? I'll show you guys how I would ask this prompt to get all the information. Break down this bill. Is it a bill? Is this act? And synthesize what it implies for users of blockchain privacy, anonymity, and ability to transact freely. Let's see here, freely. And let's go deep search. And let's see what it brings up. I'm really curious, actually. Thank you, guys. I just sounded so dumb. That is actually hilarious. The whip is like a shepherd in government. Okay, that I don't understand. Okay, maybe. Okay, I see. Okay, never mind. I got you. That kind of makes sense. Oh man, yeah. In Canadian Parliament, we don't have anything like a whip. We just, yeah. I'm not even gonna comment on Canadian politics. Oh man. Let's see here. All right, Grok. 34 seconds in. All right. Because my thoughts on the anti-CBDC Act, anytime someone's, I think Eric said this on X the other day, anytime someone says something, there's like a political act, like the Genius Act or something, it's the opposite. You know, if it's a Genius Act, then it's a stupid act. If it's a Clarity Act, it's like for obscurity, you know, and control. And so the anti-CBDC Act, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, this is for CBDCs in some way. And I even think the fact they're saying anti-CBDC Act, it's like, okay, you guys are using this act because I mean, stable coins are CBDCs. I know, it's just because you have a name for it. It's just like a category because it's not issued by the central bank, right? It's not. That's like calling like a certain type of cars that are made by car manufacturers cars, and then, you know, having, you know, people that are making them out of like smaller companies or private garages or, you know, private corporations or whatever that aren't like central banks per se, making automobiles. And we have like the anti-car bill, you know, and then people just drive automobiles instead. It's kind of silly. So I'm really curious what Grok's going to say. And Grok's thinking long and hard about this. So this might be a good answer. In the meantime, while we're waiting for this, actually, let's go to DFly here. Is the thoughts on Hyper been stinking since BNB is all gone? Not sure why Jake used it all. Well, I can't comment on anything that another. I don't want to comment on what another founder has been doing, but the buy and burn is empty. Now let's go take a look at Hyper real quick here. Let's see what is going on. Firstly, with the chart, I'll bring that up. Let's see here. We've got hyper. It's looking like now the important thing here is not necessarily the price chart, though. The price chart's not looking too bad. We got like a higher low. Okay, so it's like gaining. Looks like it's doing a little something here. I mean, it's not terrible. Obviously, it's not doing anything yet. But let's go and look at the TitanX ratio, because this is always the important chart to look at. And interesting. Yeah, it's coming back down as soon as it ran out. So this must have been the buy and burn just going to work. And this shows just instantly, boom, buy and burn probably ran out right here, I would assume. And then we're down. Well, let's see where we are. Let me go to the HyperDAP. Let's see. Let's share this tab. Day 499. So basically this price needs to do like 1, 2, 3, 4, almost a 4x, 3 point something x for hyper, which that's in ratio to ETH. So it's kind of weird. You can't. It's hard to go on the charts here and kind of do this math, because it needs to do a 3 or 4x in ETH terms, right? Because it's paired with ETH. So if ETH is going up right now and hyper is going down, that disparity is going to get wider and wider and wider. Which, there is some potential benefit to that. Well, it's not potential. There are some pros to that as well. Like, not everything is like when we see a buy and burn run out, or when we see a protocol like this away from its mining floor, kind of, you can't, it's not, definitely not dead by any stretch of the imagination. It actually just means that we can go higher in price before mining comes in. And then we have even longer to wait before that supply comes out to bring us back down, or have potentially sell pressure at any point. So I want to know, what's your thoughts on hyper though, DFly? Because you asked the question. Let me show it back, or let me throw it back to you. And do you have a plan to bolster the liquidity after day 80? I know you're talking about Taurus. I was saying this this morning in the voice chat for everyone that was there. And I will continue to say this. I don't want to, give expectations exactly of how things will operate, but I will give you the same framework that I will say in any chat, whether it is private or public, that there is a specific range that Taurus operates best in systemically relative to TitanX. That's a fancy way of saying on the TitanX Taurus, or the Taurus TitanX chart, there is a specific range, and I'm going to bring this up. There's a specific range, not in the price. Like, obviously price is US dollars. That's what everyone gets excited about. But the actual chart that matters in terms of looking at the health of the system is this one. And it looks very different. Well, it's actually very similar. But simultaneously, it's also very, very similar. So they're different. So this is the daily chart on the USD. This is the daily chart on, so they're very, very, very similar. Wait, what's going on here? Why is it saying 752 billion? This should be millions. What's happening? Oh, it's market cap. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. There we go. All right, let's go to the daily. So Taurus operates best when it's doing like this. Like a sine wave, right? Actually, it's probably the best sine wave I've ever driven on or drawn on a computer. So it operates best when it's within a certain range, because if it's too high, right, then essentially you're incentivizing a ton of sell pressure, and basically people are going to take out the TitanX that you're putting in, and it's going to replace it with what's it called? With Taurus. If it goes too low, right, then it becomes too heavy. It's like, so you have over incentivized selling up here, and you have it being too difficult to bring the system back up when it's down here. So there's kind of this range, and it might be up here, it might be down here. I don't know exactly what that range is going to be, but you'll likely see, this range being the favorite of where the system operates. And therefore, that's possibly when you'll see liquidity, start to really build up, is within those ranges. So again, I don't know the timing. It could be anywhere in that range, but this is what I want you guys to understand is, I am looking at, and Taurus operates around this range that will, in fact, do the whole. So all these lines here are talking about are levels in the system. And it's not like the system itself has levels, but it's like, this is, as of right now, where the ROI for creation starts to be basically equal to staking. This level here is when creation is twice the ROI of staking. This is 3 times, and this is 4 times, and this is 5 times, and we go on and on and on. So the further away from this point here, the less it makes sense to provide liquidity and to utilize the buy and burn, right? Now, of course, doesn't mean it's not going to get used, because if the amounts are enough, the system can't be turned off. So if the amount of the buy and burn is large enough, and the buy and build is large enough, and GUE is low enough, then the user reward's going to make people want to click the button. People are going to be engaging the buy and burn. So even if it's up here, it's going to work, and the buy and build is going to work. That's going to happen. But I hope that provides a little bit of a framework on all this, because I do want you guys to, not be. I want you guys to understand how this is going to operate over time. And while I can't tell you specifically, or again, I don't want to say can't. Well, I'm not going to tell you specifically, just because of expectations and all that. What I will say is just watch, and you may notice patterns. And like I said before Taurus went live, I really want this protocol. Well, this protocol is user centric, right? So it's got to be something that allows the people using the protocol to, understand and to see consistency over time. And to me, that's really important. There might be times where there's exceptions to the rule, where something maybe changes, for a period. But this is, and I'll say too, if there ever comes a time when there needs to be a shift, I might share some commentary on it. I might not be able to say exactly when or what or how or all that stuff, but I do want you guys to understand and be in the know of what's going on and why. Because my style specifically of how I want to run this protocol is to really involve you guys. I've said that from the beginning. The protocol operating properly is just important as you guys having a good experience and, not feeling uncertain. And of course, there's going to be moments where it's like, there's only so much I can do and so much I can say, and there might be periods of uncertainty, but I'm going to do my best to communicate to you guys, what I can, and I hope you'll understand that there may be times where I can't say everything. And also too, on that note, like I was saying, I think I was saying on the stream yesterday, I was saying it in the voice chat. So I'll echo it here. There may be times where moves are made that are best for the protocol, that might not make sense and might seem like, what is happening? But everything that, I release, I do, will be for the best interest of, Taurus. And I want you guys to understand that, I won't say anything else, not for now, but I hope you remember that statement. All these bot projects are about to explode. We just have to be a little more patient. Exactly, man. We're on the precipice. People are just getting excited right now about being in the space again, I think. And, ETH just started pumping. Let me go to the Google Trends. Let's see if retail actually spiked at all. Let's see. Let's go Coinbase. Let's go to... I'll share this in just a second. I'm just getting it sorted out, guys. 1 second here. Past 5 years. Where is CoinMarketCap? And let's go to Binance. Okay. This is actually interesting. So this is the way that I've been looking at the retail coming into crypto. And look at this. So if we look at 2021, we can see that the top was clear as day. You know, we had a ton of retail coming in thinking this was the top here. And we had a ton of retail coming at the second top. And we've been dead. And we've been going down, down, down. We're actually like basically all-time lows. It's actually crazy where we were. But now we're starting to trend up again. So we're at levels that are, you know, starting to climb. So this is actually interesting. We'll have to keep watching this because there's a chance that this could start spiking very soon here. And if this keeps going, this is a really big thing to watch. Now, Google Trends is your friend on this front. So come here, just use even Coinbase, CoinMarketCap, and Binance. There are three great words that you can use to basically come in here and see what retail is doing. This has been a very big tell in the past. So use this. And we'll keep monitoring this, but I think this is a really cool thing here. My man, Wreck to Riches, dude, good to see you. Thank you for all that you've been doing over the last while with Taurus and really posting those videos. They actually mean a lot, and they're fantastic videos. We had a couple people hop in the chat. I think it was this morning, at least one that came in through your videos. And so thank you. I really appreciate it. And it's cool to see that you're really enjoying Taurus as well. So, hey, man, I would love to have you come on stream with me here, you know, if you'd like today. And as well, maybe we should do a stream at some point. It'd be cool to stream about it, really go deep into Taurus, talk about the future, talk about ETH, talk about TitanX, and you know, maybe even talk about Unity as well, because Unity is coming. Let's see here. Let me bring this down. Look something different here for a moment. Big bada boom. Actually, let's go to the Taurus app. That's always fun. Where is it? Here. Cool. There we go. Have you talked to Shadowy to get Taurus on Ouroboros protocol? I will say we've talked. We've had conversations, and I would love to see Ouroboros. I would love to see Taurus in Ouroboros, but we'll see what happens. You know, maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't, maybe something different happens. But that is one of my goals. I do want to have Taurus in the Ouroboros protocol for sure. So we'll see. We'll see. We have to wait. There's always a criteria. So this thing's got to mature. It's got to have the right level of stability, so on and so forth. So we will see. But I would love to see that. Day 9 creation surpassed day 8. Do you mean? I don't know. I'm actually, wow, my brain no worky right now. But I'm stoked you're stoked, my man. We're actually about 3 hours, 2.5 hours away from the day ticking over to finishing day 9 and the day 9 payout happening. So that's going to be another $99,361 Taurus worth currently $934,000. Does anyone else just look at this and every time you see, you're just like, what? Like, I swear, every time I see this, I'm just like blown away that this number is so high. Because again, when I launched this damn thing, it was supposed to be floating around $2, like $2.50 right now, maybe $3. And it's just gone up to, I mean, all-time highs at like $12.30 over the last 3 days, which blows me away. Now, if we go to the ROIs are actually down to 15,000% now, which I can't believe we're saying down to 15,000%, but here we are. And I mean, if we look at the ROIs, still at about 2,300%. I mean, like I said, I did a test transaction here and it's still up to $278. That's hilarious and awesome. Let's look at the stats. Stats are 29, almost 30% stake now, only 10% liquid, 55.2% is in the LP, and we're up to almost 1,000 burned Taurus. So that's getting up to 5% of the supply here. Check this out. And it's funny because I just try to do the math in my head, and the math is right here for me. So silly me. Total Taurus and supply is 183%, 183,000%. Burnt Taurus is $8,700 already. And the buy and burn has really only triggered a little bit. Like, I mean, for one, check this out. $81,000 in ETH in the buy and burn, $49,000. And so this is actually crazy. So this is 100 and, well, let's see, 49.50. So basically $130,000 plus another 31. We're at $161,000 of ETH in the system right now, which, I mean, that's huge if you ask me. That's major progress. So let me see here. Oh, sorry, that wasn't what I was supposed to do. Can you, AOK asks, can you not just adjust the buy and burn to make it net zero to call? Do you mean, what do you mean by that? You mean the user reward? So it's basically like there's no, it's just like you break even? Because the user reward is based off the buy and burn amount, and that's a fixed ratio. So as the user reward goes up, or sorry, as the buy and burn goes up, there's more user reward. And so that's got to build over time, or the balance just has to go higher, or the buy and burn or the buy and build percentages of the daily balance need to be set higher. Because right now, I believe that they're at the minimum. They're at 1%. But I would love to know, can you clarify for me what you mean by this? Because I would love to answer it. David, my man, good to see you. Hope you're having a great morning. What do you think the best way to attract whales in large deployments? What are the ingredients to attract large ETH whales? What does the protocol need to find our own God whale? You know, that's a great question. I think that the thing that's going to have to happen here is people are going to have to really see the power of this system. So we're fighting I think we're fighting a combination of things right now is the problem, because if this launched anywhere else where people were genuinely excited about the ecosystem on a wider scale, I think we would have a really good shot of having that already. But, you know, the truth is there is a little bit of a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths for TitanX at the moment. Like, I'm seeing it everywhere. I'm in many group chats where I just see this sentiment, you know, and this feeling of like, I don't know, man. You know, there's commentary about Jake being gone. There's commentary about, you know, just not sure, blah, 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 about this, that, and the other thing. And so I think this is going to take a few different hurdles to be overcome before larger ETH whales that aren't already in the ecosystem are going to jump in. I mean, another thing that kind of pissed me off, honestly, was we had you know, Rackham come into our TG, and you know, he's obviously a big player. It would have been great to have his support, and we had someone basically make some super inappropriate comments, be really rude, and you know, he left. And now he, if you're listening, Rackham, I'd love to speak to you. I really would, but I'm still waiting to hear back from him. So that sucks. But I really think that it's going to be overcoming the sour taste in people's mouths, TitanX really performing, a little more time in the system, and people just genuinely understanding Torus. Because, you know, for those of you, I mean, that really understand it, I'm seeing all the time in the chat, people coming in. And I think we had Axiom this morning, who's just even like, he had a moment where he clicked for the staking, saw how powerful it was. And all the time over the last number of days now since we've launched, I've been seeing more and more individuals coming in and being like, yo, I get it. And so I'm just waiting for the moment where these people that are watching from the sidelines, that are, you know, bigger players, actually take the time to learn. Because the pattern that I'm seeing is when people get it, they go in harder, and they go in harder and harder and harder. So that's beautiful. And I think it's just a combination of time and overcoming the sourness. I would ask you as well, what do you think? What do you think is the best way to attract whales in large deployments? What are the ingredients to attract large ETH whales? And what does a protocol need to find our own God whale? I'll toss this to you. And I'll also toss this out to everyone in the chat right now. I'd be really curious how you guys would respond to this as well, what your thoughts are, because you guys have great ideas. You really do. And again, like I've said, all of Torus has been shaped by, you know, the community. Just yeah, it's just shaped by the community so much more than I can ever say. And let's see here. People get it. That's why they aren't putting their money. This type of project has played out hundreds of times before. Well, it hasn't though. You know, you're overgeneralizing. And I mean, maybe I don't even need to comment on this, but I think that I see an opportunity here to educate. And if you understand, like having, just because it has a buy and burn, just because it has something similar to mining, doesn't mean it's been played out before. You know, well, here's the thing, and I'm not. I respect your opinion, and I think when you understand the dynamics, if you understand the dynamics and how the system is designed, you're going to see that it's actually quite different. And everyone that actually gets it is pretty stoked on it. So what I would recommend you do is, if you want to actually, have an educated opinion, I would recommend spending some time to try and prove yourself wrong, and then just see where that takes you. You might still stick with your opinion, but you might actually change what you're thinking. So, and also, I hope you can find more productive uses of your time than coming to someone's stream who's, put their heart and soul into something, and you decide to come here and say what you're saying. It's an interesting dynamic to see. So, I hope you're all right. I hope you're well. I know, for your sake, because it's interesting to see people do that. Let's see here. Minja says, I think lots of people are waiting to see what the real ROI is when more tokens come out. If they see that the real ROI doesn't drop as much as they fear, then another wave of people will join. Exactly. That's the big thing. Like, and this is why you have commentary that I was just referring to, where people think they understand, the potential. And the thing that I will say too is design and performance are not necessarily correlated. You can have something designed extremely well and it just doesn't perform in the way that it's supposed to, due to market conditions, due to participants, due to blah 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 blah. Right? But if the design works like I envisioned it, it could really mitigate this drop in ROI and really create something here that's quite special. So got into hyper because I thought Jake said this was a leverage play on TitanX, aka bond liquidity, but it has not performing as is. Unless we get fresh ETH, this will take a bit to recover. We need mining. Yeah, the thing is too, it's TitanX is kind of stalled out at the moment too. So and people are leaving TitanX in general at the moment, just a little bit, right, to get into ETH or go somewhere else, it seems. So I haven't followed the flow of money, but what that tells me is it's possible that people that are in hyper as well. I've seen DragonX leaving and going over to ETH because ETH is pumping. So it could just be as simple as that, but I would give it time. I really would. Create a new project and add an amplifier for large minting staking for whales. Incentivize them. Well, here's the thing. I guess you could do that. So yeah, you're responding to what David was asking, right? Now, the thing that the problem is that if you incentivize whale behavior, the only people that benefit are whales, and that's not the point of this. The point is in terms of the vision, is to make a system that's so undeniably tempting to participate in over time that the whales can't ignore it, but the people get in first. So those who are not whales get in first. And that's literally it. So incentivizing them, I've seen there's a lot of danger in doing that. Now, let's see here. Now Hydra looks good. Yeah, we can look at Hydra in a second here. I'm just going to, let's see here. All right, Clev. I appreciate you showing up, but I'm done with you. And just for the record, just so I can address it, when someone comes in here and says you've created a Ponzi scheme and you're going to wreck people and all this, it's just like, I have no time for that, because it's complete negativity. I am as public as it gets. I have taken the last year and a half of my life to build this damn thing. And if that's what you think, hey man, fair enough. But just watch. Just watch and see. Here's a good strategy. Pump the price of Taurus as we get closer to midterm creations. Liquidity and supply will still be low enough to pump. Green candle and high returns get noticed. There's many ways to play this, my man. And that's not a bad strategy. Of course, I can't tell you what the goal is. I've laid a little framework, but you know how it is. I can't really say too much. I got to be political, which is annoying. But it's the way it is. And it's also for good reason as well. Let's say, yep, what I can say is I'm waiting for him to return. But you know what? I will bring this up because I'll say one thing. I told this story last time, and I think that this is relevant now. And this is the story of maybe, right? Or looking at what's happening now, not in literally as it sits now, but giving it time to play out, because something can happen and we can say it's the worst thing ever. Oh my God, it's terrible. And simultaneously, if someone, sorry, I'm just reading comments here ahead of myself. If something terrible happens in the moment, but it's painful, there's suffering, there's like, you're thinking, oh my God, this is horrible. And 3 months later, or a month later, or a week later, it leads to something incredible happening. Like let's say you get in a car accident, not a bad one, but it's a fender bender, right? In the moment you're thinking, wow, this is terrible. You take the person's digits, you contact them, blah, blah, blah. And turns out someone that saw, I'm just making this up off the cuff, right? You run into them at the store. Like, oh, hey, you're that guy that got that hit in the car, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, oh, I run this. You start talking to them, make friends with them. And that leads to some other connections, which leads you somewhere else in life. I mean, that's a really weird way to put it. But like the story goes, a monk is in a monastery and a woman cheats on her husband and brings the baby to the monk and says, this is your baby. And the monk, everyone in the monastery freaks out. And I think he gets kicked out. And the monk only says, or when asked about what he thinks about this, he's like, isn't this a terrible thing? It's like, maybe. And so he raises the child, and the child one day gets out in a horse and breaks his leg. And everyone's thinking, oh my God, this is terrible. This is terrible. And he's like, maybe. And then this is when the kid's 18. And so, of course, right after he's healing from this broken leg, the military comes in to draft all the eligible males, and his leg is broken. And so he can't be drafted. And when everyone's celebrating and saying, wow, this is amazing, he says, again, maybe. And so it's like, while Jake is, doing his thing, I think it's important to understand that we don't know how this is going to play out. We don't know if he has a strategy. We don't know if he, this has often been referred to as 9D chess from, like Richard Hart and all that. But if one person can play high level chess, so can another. And we all agree that Jake's a really smart dude. I don't think he's stupid at all. I think he's a very brilliant dude. And I will not be surprised when a plan of some forms starts to take shape at some point here. So again, let's just give things time, like let's say when the time is right, he does come back. I mean, and it plays in our favor in a way that we didn't see coming, because we didn't have all the information. I mean, no one's going to do anything but praise him, right? Especially if it works. DFly says, TitanX is 16 million in ETH buy and burn, which is basically buy back. What project in crypto has this at this low of market cap? This needs to be marketed more. 100%. Let's actually go bring that up. Where am I here? Right. All right, let's see. V1. Look at this. $16 million. And wait, there's more. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Just wait. Let's see. All right, if we go down here, we've got another $3.3 million sitting here in the TitanX buy and burn. So all of this is going to at least buy TitanX. 50% of it's going to stake TitanX, and 50% is going to go buy and burn DragonX. So, I mean, we've got nearly $20 million at the moment. $20 million. Man, that's huge. This doesn't need to be marketed more. If you're watching this and you're on X or anything like that, you're making videos, please, let's talk about this, because, and maybe I'll make a video on this as well at some point soon here, but this is huge. $20 million in the ecosystem in ETH alone. And that does not include the another 130 or 160,000 that Torus is slowly building up. And I'm excited to see what happens. If someone can't differ between a scammer and a legit project, that person deserves a ban. I just honestly, I don't like banning people. And I'm also starting to realize why founders do what they do. Let me explain some stuff to you here. So obviously being a YouTuber before, and being sort of like a being like a color commentary analyst on or journalist, more so to speak, and guy who's just like providing information. It was really easy to just get annoyed from my perspective, being like there's like censorship and just banning people, muting people, like deleting people, ignoring people, all this stuff. And I really gave, Richard a hard time for that. I even thought, like, I watched other founders do, even in our ecosystem, just ignore, block, mute, move on. And, my strategy when I first started doing this, when I first opened up the Telegram chats and everything, was really, everyone's welcome. And that is true to a degree. But when someone comes in and is not interested in changing their opinion, is not interested in learning, it's not a conversation. It's just like, you suck, you're a scammer, you created a Ponzi. It's just like, it's a statement without a willingness to talk about it. Because, hey, if you want to have a conversation about how this is a scam, I will sit down with you for hours. I'll talk to you about everything. I am happy to show you everything in the smart contracts. I'm happy to show you every single way that this was built, so that you can understand it. And what's funny is that anyone that's understood this project has never said those words, and of course I saw this we saw this with Hex, we saw this with TitanX. People that don't understand, assumed that it is it's a scam, blah, blah, blah. So the point of what I'm saying though is I'm starting to realize why this whole block and move on thing is a thing. Because look, you can't please everyone. People are going to come in the chat and they're going to have something to say because maybe they're having a bad day, which if you, for Club Trev, if you're having a bad day, man, I hope you go out and touch grass and get out in nature, hang out with some friends, do whatever you need to do to chill out and, not be so bothered to come into someone's stream and, be spreading negativity without wanting to talk about it. So I do hope you're well, and I hope you can, maybe learn something from this. If not, that's all good. But my point is, it actually makes a lot of sense from a founder perspective to just mute the noise, block the noise, and move on, because there's so much work that goes into this, and it can be so derailing if you give it energy that it's just not even worth it. It's more important for me to stay on track for you guys than to actually get pulled into some other person's opinion that is not based on anything. It's just based on the feeling that, that's their own thing. So anyways, we just want to say that so you guys understand, because, I've been realizing that I can see my behavior changing within reason to, instead of allowing everyone to speak and everyone to have the time to have the mic. It's like, no, not everyone. Like, freedom of speech is also me saying, I don't want you to be talking in my house anymore, So anyways, guys, how many coins have been built on TitanX now? 40 freaking 2. 42. We have a huge ecosystem. Hydra TA. Let's do Hydra TA. Yeah, I'm over it. I just wanted to say that because again, I want to communicate to you guys kind of where I'm at and why I'm doing what I'm doing. I don't want there to be, confusion or like, oh my God, he's changing, because my values haven't changed. It's just I'm learning how you need to operate in this space to keep your energy moving. Anywho, enough about that. We're doing Hydra TA, right? Let's go. Hydra is looking pretty strong, actually. I mean, hey, you guys tell me. Does that look like a bottom to you? Looks like a nice V bottom. And also, let's go to the RSI. Let's see what the RSI is doing here. I mean, looks pretty good to me. I mean, if you get, let's see here. So 5.25 billion. How many Hydra are there now? There is, what's the total supply of Hydra? I need to go to premium real quick and see what Hydra is. Total supply is, let's see. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it. Okay, so total supply. No, that's TitanX used. Buy and burn. Where's the supply? Let's see. Hydra inflation per hour. So there's like 8.2 trillion Hydra. That's the cumulative inflation. I don't know what's there after the buy and burn. So let's say if it's 8 trillion, basically 8 billion is 0.1% of the supply. So for, I guess it would be, let's see here, a few $1,000 for, so if you want to get a whale position, 30 grand for a whale position, $3,000 for a shark position. So at 0.1% of the supply. That ain't bad. And I mean, what's cool here is if we go to, let's go to the Hydra DAP for a second. Hydra.win. And also, the one thing we can see is that whenever TitanX pumps, Hydra starts to rip. So, I mean, this is actually looking quite good. I'm curious to your guys' thoughts as well. Where is he? D-Fly, you brought up the Hydra TA. Man, tell me what you're thinking. Would love to hear what you guys are thinking as well. Let's see here. Oh, I got the Hydra DAP up. Let's go to the Hydra DAP. So here's what's crazy, though. So this is interesting. So Hydra is almost break even for mining. That's fascinating to me. That is really fascinating. So this, if Hydra keeps going up, we could see more TitanX go off the market into Hydra mining. And then that buy and burn goes into, well, I mean, for one, that's just out of users' hands and into Hydra. Then that's going to go into the buy and burn for Hydra, which is going to be going into TitanX first, and then the Hydra buy and burn. And check this out. So we got the buy TitanX contract. The Vortex has a little bit more, and I don't know what day we're going to be on. We're going to be releasing on because it's 98. But the buy and burn for Hydra still has $1.1 million in it. And if we go look at the Hydra market cap, it's 2.8 million. So we have a 50%, almost 50% ratio of funds to Hydra or Hydra supply. And how much is in, where is it here? What's in liquidity? I know you guys can't see this, but there's only 468,000 Hydra in liquidity. $468,000, I should say, which it does imply, because there's only $276,000 in TitanX. So that does imply there's a little more people looking to exit than to buy. Liquidity ratio is kind of, it's not looking fantastic. It's still fine. Like, that's not going to be too much, honestly, to buy, because it depends on what range that's in too, because this is a V3 liquidity pool. But this is interesting. So what Hydra could start doing is Hydra could really start bringing in some TitanX and really tighten up the supply. And that would be huge, I think, to take a lot of supply off people's hands, because people go over this in ROI. Although I'm really curious with the sentiment around Hydra. I'd be curious if it's because I want to hear from you guys here. How does everyone feel about Hydra? Are people really excited to start mining again? I know some people are looking at it now as like a really bullish token to hold, but I'm curious about the sentiment to mining. You know, I don't really have an opinion on that matter as at all, but I want to know from you guys. Yep. Besides Taurus, what TitanX project are you most bullish on? I'm not picking favorites, man. I'm just, well, I'll say, I don't know if I want to even comment on that really, because it's like, I think they're all going to do very well, especially because if these protocols still start bringing demand back into TitanX, then it's going to be exciting time. You're going to see a lot of different protocols popping off, a lot of different plays that are going to be there. So I think this is going to be an interesting time for people to start setting up and really, getting ready for what will be a huge popping off of 42 green candles. So yeah, we're done with that. Let's see here, Ben. What price does TitanX need to get to for miners to make sense? Let's see here. So let's check this out. So I think I have a line somewhere in here. Last I checked, I think it was around this. So let me, oh man, let's go to one. Oh, let me just do some quick math here, guys. 1 sec. Oops, 3/8 divided by 0 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 6975. 23, is it 23x? So it needs to do 23x in wrapped ETH terms to get to mining break even. If my math on stream, which I shouldn't actually be doing, is correct. Well, that's break even. So basically it needs to do about TitanX needs to do a 50x against ETH in order for mining to come back. Now, remember, Hydra needs like a handful of percent to begin mining. Hyper needs to go up a couple times or a few times for mining to start again. So we might not ever actually reach that because the Hyper system is the one that can bring in ETH quicker instead of having to rely on us going all the way up to do a 50x here. You know, instead of having this huge run up, we might only need to go to here before mining starts rocking again. This isn't just in hyper terms. So ETH will come into the system very soon. And then once we get that, I mean, that's huge marketing because we'll have $20 million from between TitanX and TitanX and DragonX. Then if Hyper is bringing in a ton of ETH, and if Hydra also has a lot, and then also Taurus, and all the other protocols start building a little bit that are able to, I mean, man, we could have a huge TitanX treasury. I still want us to get on that treasury list, but I'm not so certain we're going to be able to now because they've basically been ignoring all my comments. So kind of annoyed, but that's the way she goes. Yeah, exactly. Mining almost positive. Also, huge buy and burn in Dragon. This will outperform most. People are not ready, man. That's why we're here because we know that this ecosystem is going to pop. Hydra also has Vortex around 200K, I think, in BNB. Yeah, I believe I was just checking that, and it's, I think, 100 and something. 115,000, 116,000. But still, that's huge. That's fantastic. There's going to be so much to look forward to very soon here. I mean, there already is. This is just like the calm before the storm here. Did you talk to Joe Paris about making a Taurus video? I messaged him. He messaged me a while ago. Messaged him again. Waiting to hear back from him. We'll see. We do need more big influencers to talk about Taurus. Here's, again, the issue is that everyone wants money to talk. And it's just the way it goes where everyone wants like 5K. It's talking to someone, asking them about them talking about Taurus or TitanX, and they said I don't like to talk about something I don't hold. I want a bag, and yeah, it's like the bag was worth 5K. So it's like, okay, it's just see the pattern, right? It's neither here nor there. It's like, okay, that's just the game. It's not like I'm not casting shade or anything like that, but it's just like, okay, I see the game. Everyone wants pay to play. So that's where we're at with this. And if we're doing a fair launch decentralized style protocol, it's like, pay to play. I don't know how I feel about that so much, but obviously I'm still reaching out to people, and I actually have a feeling that when Unity comes as well, that'll be a big deal for Torus, because my expectation, and I know it's kind of weird to be talking about Unity over on Pulse Chain when we're on a TitanX stream, but hear me out here. I have a feeling that when people go into Unity, because they've been watching, I know there's a lot of people watching Torus right now. There's people that have come in from the Pulse Chain side that have said, like, dude, nice work. I see what you're doing. Keep it up. And my thought process is, if people are more excited on the Pulse Chain side and go hard into Unity, there might be less gains, right? Because there's more decentralization, less supply per person, and so on. So people, I could actually see people going hard into Unity and being like, oh, wow, the gains are a lot less. Maybe I should actually go over to Torus, right? And because this is just for the Pulse Chain community over for Unity, could actually see people come over and try and play Torus as well, because it's the same system. It's like the people that are in Pulse Chain Hex can look for opportunities over in eHex, right? It's the same thing. And so this is kind of what I'm thinking might happen here. We'll see, but I can see this being a big thing. Let's see here. So Hydra's leverage on Dragon and DragonX ratio is the most in TitanX. So bag of Hydra means more in TitanX, 100%. Yep. Well said. Is Unity the same thing as Torus, but on Pulse Chain? That's correct. Yep. If pay to play the start to few creations for them and show them the end claim of 5K, it only costs a fraction to start creations. You know what I can actually do? Because I have this one that I was messing around with. I actually should offer it to maybe Joe, because he's done stuff in the past. It's a small one, but if that turns into something, it can maybe offer to him. We'll see. It's an idea. I'm not going to commit to anything, but I do like where your head's at with this, and maybe there's something to do there. Yeah, this is a great idea though. Like even starting like $10, $50, putting that in, just to give them something to see. That could be cool. But yeah, I really let's maybe what we'll do is we'll go over some stats real quick on Torus and see what's going on there. So let me just refresh some stuff on the Dune dashboard, and then we'll wind this down, guys. Feeling like I'm ready to wind this down about the hour mark here. So we've already talked about what's going on in Torus in the DApp. Let's go to the Dune dashboard. Oh, dude, I'm just about to end this, brother. I'm just going to talk real quick, and I was going to end this. I mean, the link is in the chat. If you scroll all the way up, it should be there if you want to hop on for a second. But I am going to I'm going to shut her down pretty quick here, I think. Anyways, yeah, I'm feeling it. Yeah, I am. So all good. Let's see here. You could even give away some shorted creation. That's true. Yeah, good for marketing. Could do some small ones. Got to figure out how to give them away without sending them a little bit of cash and making them view them. That would be, if it could make them view them, that would be cool. I'm gonna think about this. There's something there possibly. Yeah, I like this a lot. So let's look at the stats on the Dune dashboard. So we're at $730,000, $783,000. Sorry, 55, almost 56 ETH input in the system. So I think we're actually probably closer to 790, almost 800K at this point. I would assume there, because these numbers are typically just a tiny bit low. Although this is getting there. This is 2.34. We're at 2.44 at the moment. So I think this is getting a little more accurate. Let's see where the wave is. Let's see here. We're almost okay. So this to me is the coolest thing. The new token creation amount. Remember, so this number that we were seeing here was above 4.5 trillion in the early days, in the first few days, which means this is how many tokens were going to come out on day 89. Now, what this means, if we're looking at this, you can see that the new token creation amount is now 2.62 million, which means this whole this day that we've been worried about has already reduced by 50% of what the amount of tokens that was going to come out on that day is expected to be. And we're only on day 8, almost starting day 9, which means we're 10% of the way there, which means this could come down so significantly. It could actually be incredibly non-impactful as time goes on. And all of these beginning, what's it called here? All these creations and stakes in the beginning will also get diluted. So if you're watching this, this was just a spike at one point, like day 89, it was just a spike. And what you're seeing is this smooth rounding here shows like a decentralized kind of pattern of where the supply is going over time. And as this smooths out, what you'll see is this line here will come down, and actually means that there's less and less coming out every time someone creates. And so if there's a ton of participation that comes in the protocol, this could really come down to around 1 million or less. And this is the big day. And if we learned anything from TitanX, oftentimes these huge days where we were concerned, like, oh my God, it's going to be the big bad day, actually turned out to be one of the most bullish days, because day 280, 2 days later, TitanX started pumping and we did 10x shortly after. So that's something big to understand here with this. When you get this, I think you're going to realize that, holy smokes, this is not the same. Not the same at all. Not a bad idea. I could do something like that. Yeah, just like $50 or something to show show the crazy good APY. Could definitely do something like that. A lot of Hex people would love Taurus. I know they would. Oh, sorry, that was really loud. My God, you hear myself clipping there. I know this is up the Hex guy's alley. I know it. I'm just waiting for that. I think they're gonna get Taurus once Unity arrives over on Pulse Chain, and then I think people are going to be a lot more bullish on Taurus that previously weren't really paying attention to it, because they're going to see, oh my God, this system that I love right here is going to really get their attention over on Ethereum, especially because if there's a lot of participation on Pulse Chain versus over on Ethereum, then they might see opportunity. So, hey, just saying, it's just a thought process, but we'll see. It would have been cool to encapsulate the creation to be able to send it or sell it. We are thinking along the same path, my friend. Give it time. You didn't hear anything though. NFT, I would love to see that. That's all I can say. I like where your head's at. We'll see. We need to get the Hex guys on board. Well, let's do it, man. It's just trying to do it in a way where it's like making them understand that this is not trying to pull them away from Pulse Chain, but to see that something's coming, something's here that they will also love. And like Kirill is saying, I love Hex, I love Taurus, me too. And therefore, I think, it's like, I might try and go back on with the captain again. But I went on a couple times and we just ended up, which was cool. We just talked about Hex a lot. We talked about Pulse Chain, and we never ended up talking about Taurus, which I was really excited to start showing. But maybe one day soon, especially because Unity, is on the horizon. And at some point, we're going to be talking with the Pulse Chain crew. And the cool thing is, the only way for me to talk about Unity is to showcase Taurus. So it's not all bad. I think it's actually fantastic. I need to stream over the Hex community. I'm going to. I'm definitely going to. And that'll probably happen sooner than people think. Do a demo. Yeah, all of this is going to happen. Or buy a creation ticket, but choose when to start the creation in the future, so all the shares are frozen until activated. That's an interesting concept, actually. I'll mention Taurus and Unity on some Pulse Chain streams. Nice. Wait, Kirill, are you a streamer, or do you just go to the streams and hang out? If you're a streamer, we got to talk. But maybe you're just referring to showing up to streams and just mentioning Taurus and Unity. It's true with the Hex crowd. I do have a decent following and I have a lot of connections. So, I was trying to get that going before, but I was also it's also one of those things where I wanted to bring it up in a way where it's relevant. And, when we were going to talk about Taurus on the RG3's channel, it felt a little weird to go on and just bring it up when Unity was a ways away. It just felt weird. So it's like, if I'm going to go on there, I actually want to bring something of value to what they're already in. And, I know a lot of them aren't really so big in the TitanX ecosystem. So, I wanted to bridge that gap in the right way. And it didn't feel right to bring it up in those times that we had spoken. But now that Unity is much closer, there is going to be an easier way to segue, because now it's like, okay, something's actually coming. And now I can demo it. And now we have a Dune dashboard. We can see it working live. We can see participation. We can see everything playing out. And it is relevant to everyone in that community because it's coming to Pulse Chain. So that's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. Ali, what's up, man? I'm surprised you're here. Or didn't you? It's the weekend, man. I mean, I'm glad to see you. But I hope you're doing well, man. I'm excited. That's all I can say. Kirill, no streamer, just passive investor. Cool. Well, hey, even for showing up at streams and just chatting about it, that's amazing. That goes a long way. Because eventually, someone's going to talk about it. Someone's going to. Just bring it up. And even if they don't like TitanX, you can create miners with ETH. Here's the thing, right? I totally know what you're saying here. I've learned the hard way that when you superimpose some kind of statement or something or an idea that does not coexist with the kind of how Pulse Chain operates and how the community operates, or what the vision is for like what Richard's building, then it tends to be seen as an attack and a vampire attack. And that's not what this is at all. It's why I'm building Unity, because, I believe in both ecosystems and I want both ecosystems to thrive. And so I wanted to give Pulse Chain, that same opportunity, and also let them see that, Taurus is already operating. So it's a tricky one to do properly, because bad blood is not good marketing necessarily. I don't believe it is anyways. So I'm trying to find the way to bridge that gap in a healthy way. Someone wanted to build on Taurus. What would be, actually, let me come back to this because I see Ali saying her comment here is relevant. I get what you're saying. There needs to be a proper segue between communities. Exactly. It's like, I don't want to yell at them to come over here from our side of the bridge or from this neck of the woods, right? And say like bring your people, come over here. It's better over here. It's like, I want to build a bridge where they can realize that like we're not trying to pull users away and harm the ecosystem. It's just, there's so much in common here that there's also opportunity, and trying to do that in a way where it's just cohesive. I think it's a better word for it. Kindness hasn't been streaming for a while. Yeah, he's I think he's not streaming at the moment, and I don't know if he ever will again or when he's coming back, but he would be great. I would love to, but from looking at his behavior, and I don't mean that in a negative way. Looking at the fact that he's not streaming tells me he's not going to come back streaming. He's very, very inactive on X, and is very limited with how much he posts and what he talks about. So it just tells me he's doing his own thing, which is great, man. It's more to life than crypto, but it would be great. And if he comes back, I'll definitely hit him up, and we will definitely be streaming. If someone wanted to build on Taurus, what would be an idea to provide the most value? Well, here's the funny thing is, any idea that I think is worth building, I might already be chasing that, right? You never know. It's because I want to see what others want to build. And, I'm not saying someone has, but maybe someone's already contacted me with some stuff. But idea of providing value, if we can narrow it down to something less mechanical and more kind of broad, I would say something that kind of takes into consideration that you can't really take advantage of the system. It would be more of like a use case for Taurus that, is It honestly is a hard thing because, when I go to thinking about, what's good for Taurus and what could be really great, it's alternative ways of growing your bag and also in a way that is not so much like a huge leverage play where you're like expecting outsized gains for outsized risk. Like those are fun. I mean, we have a lot of those in the ecosystem, but I think horizontally that would be a great way to scale out Taurus. Like I would consider something like farms horizontal scaling. I would consider Ouroboros like a horizontally scaled kind of thing. So some way that allows users to not want to let go of their Taurus, but still in some way, generate some kind of passive income to give them alternative opportunities. Because the thing is over time, as more and more supply comes out, depending on how much of a supply sink the liquidity pools become, other, if farms show up or if Ouroboros shows up, how much of a supply sink those are, the ROI is going to fluctuate based on how much of the total supply is staked relative to how much Taurus is coming out over that same period. And so these alternative opportunities are going to be very powerful for the longevity of the protocol, in that, when people go somewhere else for an ROI, they're giving up the opportunity to earn that ROI within the Taurus system, and therefore raising the baseline ROI just a touch, right? And so these types of opportunities I think are important. But if anyone does have an idea that you want to bring to life, I've got a team for you that's incredible, buildthetech.com. And that's who I've been working with. They're, in my opinion, goats. I love these guys. They're amazing. Great, amazing humans. Feels kind of like family when you're in there. And it does feel like family when you're in there. And they also are really quality at what they do. So I would recommend, I've got a team for you. And if you want to talk about mechanics and stuff, I'll definitely work with you. So, I mean, reach out. I'm all for it. Let's see here. We talked about that. Yeah, DIY is a good one. We have a lot in common. Profeta, Crypto Audi King, Marco X. Marco knows that Taurus. He's talked about Taurus. He hasn't streamed about it. Audi King mentioned Taurus. I'll probably reach out to him. He doesn't necessarily have a huge audience, but you're right. Crypto Audi King would be fantastic. Profeta, I should reach out to. I haven't reached out to him. I have reached out to DIY Investing, so see what happens there. For Unity, are we going to use Pulse Chain and PulseX as input tokens? Exactly. So instead of ETH and TitanX, it's going to be PLS and PLSX over on Unity. Same system, though. Exact same system. So we'll see. DIY Investing is great because it has a massive following. Also into the Hex community, and his YouTube followers are new onboards. Cool. We'll see what happens there. Like I said, I've reached out, and we'll see where that goes. But on that note, guys, I'd be curious where has been, because you asked me this question: if someone wanted to build on Taurus, what would be an idea to provide the most value? You tell me, man. What do you think? You got an idea in mind? I would love to know. And if not, all good. What I'll probably end up doing is I'm going to wind down the stream now because we're about an hour and 20 in, and I'm totally cool with us winding down here. This is a great spot. This is oh yeah, we didn't even go over the stablecoin or the anti-CBDC. You know what we'll do before we end? I'll wait for your comment too, Ben, or anyone else that wants to chime in on that last note. Let's read in on the anti-CBDC bill, and let's go to the conclusion here. We'll go backwards just so we can see. So the conclusion, and obviously what I'll even do, if you guys want to read this, I will copy this to clipboard. I'm going to put this in the YouTube chat. Please go ahead and read this if you want to be up, see what Grok has to say. Go explore, ask some more questions, and read along. Because I'm not going to read the whole thing. As you can see, it's huge. And this is the type of thing I love about Grok, is you can ask it some questions that can give you a huge breakdown. So let's go to the conclusion. We'll maybe work backwards based on what we see here. The Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act, as of July 19th, 2025, is generally viewed positively by the blockchain community for its focus on protecting financial privacy, preserving anonymity, and supporting the ability to transact freely without government surveillance. It aligns with the community's values of decentralization and resistance to overreach, ensuring that users can continue leveraging existing blockchain technologies without the threat of centralized digital currency. However, concerns about potential loopholes in the U.S. falling behind global CBDC trends suggest that vigilance is needed to ensure long-term protection of these principles. And what I would ask here is, how does Grok view stablecoins as a CBDC? Because to me, stablecoins are CBDC, but you have corporate CBDCs. It's like a corporate bank digital currency instead of a central bank. I don't know. It just changing the acronym a little bit, but same. Hope this is making sense. Because stablecoins can be frozen, they can be shut down, they can be controlled. So they are CBDCs. So this is why it's kind of funny to see this whole, and actually, Grok did get an interesting update a while back. So I wonder how much was changed internally. I don't know. Maybe it's still got a good bias or a low bias, but we'll see. I don't know. So yeah, guys, go check that out. It's here in the comments. Definitely worth a read, and ask it more questions as well. Go in depth with it. So my idea would be along the lines of creating NFTs for creations and speculating on the early value of creations, but not activating to start the miners until a later date. So capturing the current share rate and Torus creation. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. It's, you know what you're thinking. I think you're thinking in the right direction here. I think there's a lot in this direction, specifically with share rate and, the ideas of NFTs and maybe even encapsulated something with Torus. There's definitely something there. So we'll see what gets built. I've definitely had my my head deep into this line of thought already. So we'll see what happens. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. But if Synergy, Alex, founder of Hydra, if you're watching this, which I can't imagine you are, but if you happen to be, dude, I'd love to talk to you because I think you'll have a heyday because you created Hydra and Icosa, and I freaking adore what you built. I think it's fantastic. So cool. And I think you would have a heyday with Taurus and Unity, both. So on that note, though, guys, let's shut her down. I think this is a great place. Hour and 22 minutes. That was a great stream. Thank you guys for your questions. Thanks for hanging with me. I hope you guys had a fantastic morning or afternoon or evening so far. And yeah, if you haven't already, go to the Taurus DApp. Check out the stats. Go see for yourself what's going on there. Hop in the Telegram, which if you're watching the stream, all of the links for the Telegram, the website, the socials are all in the description below. So go check those out. Hop in the Telegram with us. We have calls every single day at around 8 or 9 a.m. Pacific time. And we have great conversations. We're really bullish in there. We're getting excited. It's a fun place to be. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. And welcome to the age of Taurus.